Hey there and welcome over here today. I'm going to be showing you some healthy snack ideas. I really do like to keep some healthier snacks in my house, like in the fridge or the pantry, just to snack on throughout the week. But I will be the first to admit that I am not the healthiest person in the world. I don't just eat healthy snacks. I eat a lot of junk food too, but I hope you guys all enjoy these healthier snack ideas. And if you are new here, I'd love to have you over at my channel. So go ahead and subscribe down below the video, but let's get cooking some healthy snacks. To get us started off, we're going to be making these beautiful flourless peanut butter banana muffins. So to begin, I'm using my blender for this. You could also use a food processor. I'm just adding 2 ripe bananas in there along with 2 large eggs, 1 cup of peanut butter. You could use creamy peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter. I decided to use the crunchy peanut butter. And then to sweeten this up, you're going to be adding 1/4 cup of some maple syrup along with 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and that's seriously it. You're going to blend all of this together until it begins to be smooth. Now that our muffin mixture is nice and smooth, I'm just going to be adding in our cup of some semi-sweet chocolate chips. You could add in nuts at this point, or seriously anything that you would like in your muffins, just go ahead and add in. But I always just add some semi-sweet chocolate chips and it makes it super delicious because we are chocolate lovers in this home. Over here I have my muffin tin. If you were wondering how many muffins this recipe makes, it makes 12, and that's actually the perfect amount for my family. But if that's too many muffins for your family, you could actually freeze some of these muffins. So that's a little side note, I guess. But anyways, I'm just putting my cupcake liners in, and then I'm just scooping a little bit of this muffin mixture in each of these cupcake liners until that mixture is all gone. This step is totally optional, but I'm just sprinkling some more semi-sweet chocolate chips on top. I just think it makes it look super cute, and also, of course, you need all the chocolate you could get because chocolate's yummy. I just put this in my preheated oven to 400 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes, and here they are out of the oven. I just cannot begin to tell you how delicious they are. Believe it or not, this muffin recipe is actually one of my favorite muffin recipes of all time. Plus, if you're trying to avoid flour at this time, this recipe is perfect for you. Now we're going to be making some healthy, easy frozen yogurt bark. I've seen this recipe over on Instagram, so I wanted to give it a try. Anyways, I have my Greek yogurt right here. This is just plain yogurt. I'm adding it into my measuring cup. It's about 1.5 cups of that yogurt, and then on top of that, I'm going to be adding my teaspoon of vanilla extract along with my 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. If you don't have maple syrup, you could just use some honey, and that's really going to sweeten this up. This recipe also couldn't get any easier. That's all you do. Now you're just going to whisk these ingredients to combine. Over to my cookie sheet, I'm just lining it with a little bit of some wax paper. That step's definitely optional. It's just for some easier cleanup. I just added our yogurt right on top there, and I'm just going to spread it out just so it's a little bit thick. You don't want it too thin because this is supposed to be kind of like a bark. And then on top, you're going to be adding whatever fruit you want. The recipe says strawberries and fresh blueberries are best. I only had frozen raspberries and blueberries on hand. I didn't realize that. I thought I had fresh fruit, but go ahead and add whatever fruit you want at that point. And now I'm just adding in our unsweetened coconut flakes, and then I'm going to put this in the freezer to freeze for about 4 hours. Here is my yogurt bark. It is completely frozen 4 hours later. I just took it off of our wax paper and I broke it into smaller pieces just like this, just so it kind of started to turn into bark. But anyways, this came out really good. I just stored it in an airtight container in my freezer and we really enjoyed this. I think next time if I were to make it again, I would just use some fresh fruit. I think the frozen fruit was a little bit too hard, but it was still good. Now I'm going to be showing you my favorite recipe for some egg muffins. I like making this recipe because I could just store them in the fridge or the freezer and they're a really easy breakfast. So to begin, I'm just chopping up 1 yellow onion into smaller pieces. This is a small sized onion. For your bacon, you're going to be wanting to chop that up into smaller pieces as well. I'm using 4 strips of bacon. If you like your egg muffins loaded with bacon, you could go ahead and use more bacon. Also, this recipe would be delicious with ham or sausage if you don't care for bacon. Over here at my saucepan, I'm just adding in our sliced up onion along with our bacon pieces, and I'm going to cook these together until that bacon is completely cooked and our onions are translucent. This is going to make the onions super duper flavorful. Now that our bacon is completely cooked, I absorbed a little bit of that bacon grease with a paper towel just so it wasn't so greasy. Next, I added in a cup of some fresh spinach and I just stirred this all together until that spinach got wilted down. Over here to my medium-sized mixing bowl, I'm just going to be adding in 7 eggs. You could add more eggs if you want more, but 7 was the perfect amount for my family. Now that I thoroughly whisked those eggs together, I'm going to be adding in a 1/2 cup of some sharp cheddar cheese. You could also add pepper jack if that's what you prefer. Any type of cheese you really like would be delicious in this. The last thing that I'm doing now is just adding our bacon, spinach, and onion mixture in this, and I'm going to whisk this together one last time. Just to make it easier on myself, when I'm pouring this into my muffin tin, I just first poured it into my 4-cup measuring cup, and then from there I'm going to be pouring it into our muffin tin. I did spray this really well with some nonstick olive oil spray first. You want to make sure you do that or this will, stick and you won't be able to get your egg muffins out. For me, this made about 11 egg muffins. I just baked this in my oven on 350 for about 15 minutes, but just check it for doneness around the 15-minute mark. But here they are out of the oven. These came out so delicious. Everybody in my family enjoys them. Like I said before, you could freeze these and just pull them out and put them in the microwave. They're a great little meal prepping little snack as well. We also put them in the fridge for busy mornings. Now we're going to be making some homemade hummus. I actually got this recipe idea from Caitlin over at Living That Mama Life. But anyways, to begin, I just have my garbanzo beans right here. This is about 15 ounces of those, and I'm just saving about 1/4 cup of that liquid for later on. I just poured it in my strainer, and I'm just going to rinse it with some cold water. Over here to my blender, I've just poured our rinsed garbanzo beans in there. You could also just use a food processor if you have a food processor. Anyways, don't mind that blue little spoon there. Brinley must have knocked it in the way while I was filming this. Now I'm just adding 1/2 of a lemon in there. I just think lemon adds such great flavor to hummus. I'm also adding 2 cloves of garlic in there, along with about a teaspoon of some olive oil and some salt and pepper. You could add more seasonings like cumin or chili powder or cayenne, whatever seasonings you really like, but I just wanted to keep it as basic as possible, just so that my daughter Brinley would enjoy it. Now I'm just blending it up. Every once in a while I did stir it with a spatula just to get everything evenly combined. You'll notice at this point that it is getting pretty thick, so the garbanzo juice that we saved, that 1/4 a cup, I added in a tablespoon of that garbanzo juice along with a tablespoon of some normal water, and then I blended it again, and then it got to be super smooth and creamy like this, almost like a perfect hummus consistency. I just put it in a big old bowl and sprinkled some olive oil and some parsley on top just to make it look super beautiful. Here's our finished product. I just dipped some crackers in there. You could also dip veggies. This hummus was so good. In my honest opinion, this was my favorite hummus of all time. And I'm pretty picky about my hummus. I like good hummus, I guess I should say. But this hummus was delicious, and I think you should give it a try because it is so budget friendly to make your own hummus. Now we're going to be making some homemade peanut butter granola. Granola is another one of those things that is just wicked expensive at the grocery store, and it is super budget friendly to make at home, so you definitely want to try this out. So into this measuring cup, I'm just adding a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I just used the Adams All Natural peanut butter. This was the crunchy peanut butter, but like I said before, use any peanut butter you like. And now I'm adding in some maple syrup. This is a 1/2 cup. I added in about most of that 1/2 cup with maple syrup, and then about 2 tablespoons to finish that 1/2 cup up with honey, just because I didn't have a lot of honey on hand. I just added that in together, and then I put this in my microwave to melt down together for about 45 seconds. Once those 45 seconds were up, I just whisked it together. Now that our peanut butter is melted together, I'm going to be adding about a teaspoon of some vanilla extract in there, and then I just mixed this to combine with that peanut butter and syrup. And now we're going to start on our oats. So you're going to be wanting to add about 5 cups of some old-fashioned oats into a large bowl. Right on top of these oats, you're going to be adding your peanut butter mixture on there. I do want to let you know, you could also add coconut flakes, almonds, pecans, cranberries, raisins, you name it. You could add it to this mixture at this point. Anything would be delicious in it, even cinnamon, however you like your granola, just go ahead and add whatever you want in. I just wanted to make mine plain. Anyways, you're going to mix this up. I ended up having to mix it up with my hands to get everything well incorporated. Unfortunately, I didn't show it on the film, so I'm sorry about that. Over here to my cookie sheet, I just lined it with some parchment paper, and then you're just going to stick your granola right on top there. You're going to bake this in an oven preheated to 275 degrees for about 20 minutes. Here's my granola out of the oven. I just mixed everything together, and then I sprinkled about a tablespoon of some honey on top, and then I put this back in my oven to bake for another 15 to 20 minutes or until it starts to look golden brown, and then I pulled it out of my oven and I let it cool completely on my countertop. Here is my granola out of the oven and completely cooled off. As you could see, some of the pieces are big clumps like this, and then some of them are just smaller pieces. This granola comes out delicious every time. I just put it on this large gallon-sized Ziploc bag to store it. I typically store it in a huge airtight container though. And that is a wrap of all of these little snacks that my family enjoys. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And if you have any of your favorite snack ideas, I would love to hear them in the comments down below. I feel like I'm always searching for new snacks for my family, but I hope you guys are all doing well and having a wonderful week. And as always, I would love to have you over here, so go ahead and subscribe down below the video. But I will see you in Friday's video. Bye for now.